First dates. They're exciting, nerve-wracking, and full of potential. But sometimes, they can also be a minefield of red flags. You know the ones, those little signs that something just isn't right. And trust us, spotting them early could save you from a whole lot of trouble down the road. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you've ever been on a first date, you know that it's all about figuring out whether you vibe with the other person. But how do you know if this is someone worth your time? Or if they're about to become a complete disaster? Well, today we're diving into the top 7 red flags to spot on a first date. So, grab a seat, get comfortable, and let's get started. 1. Talking too much about themselves. Red flag number 1. They talk too much about themselves. Now, don't get me wrong. It's great to share things about yourself. After all, a first date is about getting to know each other. But if you feel like you're more of a listener than a participant in the conversation, it's time to pay attention. If they're constantly bragging about their job, their achievements, or their amazing vacation photos, and barely ask anything about you, that's a sign of self-absorption. A healthy relationship involves two people who are equally interested in each other. And trust me, no one wants to date someone who only thinks about themselves. Tip: find someone who values your perspective too. Look for balance in the conversation. If you're not getting the chance to share your thoughts or experiences, that could be a deal breaker. 2. Talking negatively about exes. Red flag number 2. They talk negatively about their exes. This is a huge red flag, and here's why. We all have past relationships, it's part of life. But if your date spends the whole night venting about their ex, you might want to hit the pause button. Constantly bashing an ex could mean they haven't healed, or worse, haven't moved on. And that's not something you want to deal with early on. You deserve someone who can talk about their past relationships with maturity and respect. Tip: a person who focuses on the present and future is a keeper. Don't waste your time with someone who's stuck in the past. You want a partner who's ready to focus on building something new and exciting with you. 3. Overly negative or cynical attitude. Red flag number 3. An overly negative or cynical attitude. Yes, we all have our bad days. But if your date constantly talks about how nothing ever works out or love is just a joke, that's a big sign of pessimism. Negativity can be draining. And if they're already pessimistic about relationships on a first date, imagine how they might feel about things months down the road. It's hard to build a positive, healthy relationship with someone who has a consistently negative outlook on life. Tip: seek someone who stays optimistic even in tough situations. Look for someone who's willing to embrace the ups and downs of life with a positive attitude, especially when it comes to relationships. 4. They're rude to waitstaff or others. Red flag number 4. They're rude to the waitstaff or others around them. How someone treats people who can't do anything for them is a direct reflection of their character. If they're rude or dismissive to servers, cashiers, or anyone else, it's a sign of disrespect. Treating others poorly is a major turnoff. If they think it's okay to be rude to those who serve them, they could very well treat you the same way when things get tough. Tip: kindness is key. Pay attention to how they treat people in service roles. Respect for others is a sign of maturity and emotional intelligence. 5. They have no interest in your life. Red flag number 5. They have no interest in your life. This one is simple. If they aren't asking you questions or showing any interest in your thoughts, dreams, or experiences, it's not a good sign. A first date is about discovering each other. If they're not curious about you, then what's the point? You deserve someone who wants to know you, your goals, values, and experiences. Tip: look for someone who genuinely listens and engages with your story. A person who listens and shows genuine curiosity about your life is a keeper. 6. They're constantly checking their phone. Red flag number 6. They're constantly checking their phone. We all know the feeling. You're mid-conversation, and your date is checking their phone every few minutes. It's rude, it's disrespectful, and it's a sign that they aren't fully present. Constantly checking their phone could indicate that they're not invested in the date, or that they're distracted by something or someone else. If this continues, it's time to reconsider. Tip: look for someone who's present and engaged. Check how much attention they give you. Someone who's invested in you will keep their phone down and focus on making a real connection. 7. They get too touchy too fast. Red flag number 7. They get too touchy too fast. Physical boundaries are important, and if they're making you uncomfortable by rushing into physical contact, it's a red flag. Everyone has different comfort zones, and on a first date, things should move at a pace you're both comfortable with. If they push those boundaries early on, It could indicate a lack of respect or consideration for your feelings. Tip: respect is essential in every stage of dating. Set clear boundaries and watch for someone who respects them, especially on a first date. And there you have it, the top 7 red flags to spot on a first date. Now that you're armed with this knowledge, you'll know exactly what to look out for when you're meeting someone new. But remember, dating should be fun. It's all about finding the right person who matches your energy and values. Subscribe for more dating tips. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more tips on how to navigate the dating world like a pro. And let me know in the comments, what's the biggest red flag you've spotted on a first date? Let's talk about it.